you guys doing?
We're eating chocolate.
I'm wondering how chocolate is made.
We have put a lot of efforts and dedication for making this mini documentary film. We spent days researching documentary filmmaking and the process of chocolate production. Fortunately, Minnie had a chance to go to a chocolate workshop held at NAN. Plone, Obey, and Jenny had a chance to go to a bean-to-bar chocolate workshop at Chocolasia and interviewed experts about the process of chocolate making. We have gained a lot of knowledge about chocolate making. Kindly glad to an expert who kindly explained it to us in full detail, K.Boss. After all, we hope that all of our efforts will fully make this mini documentary film an educational opportunity for our viewers and enjoy the documentary.
Hello, now we're at Chocolasia and we are with the founder of Chocolasia. So what is your name?
My name is Bowon, but you can call me Boss by nickname. I'm a founder of Chocolasia Chocolate. Chocolasia, we do like craft chocolate and we make chocolate from cacao beans. And as everyone knows, like bean to bar is quite a new trend that everyone try to make it this way because bean to bar is more natural and more like good for your health. So that's why the trend is going to be like bean to bar.
What is the difference between bean-to-bar chocolate and industry chocolate?
Bean-to-bar chocolate is more natural and more sour like dipped coffee we drink. It has some natural taste, but chocolate we eat every day. The one that we use to is the industry chocolate because it's darker and it doesn't have a sour taste. The real name of cacao is K.Boss cacao. It's produced by the cacao tree. It is a plant that has flower and fruit coming up.
This is cacao flower. This is cacao pod.
This is a cacao plantation nearby Bangkok. Cacao loves hot weather, so it can be grown around everywhere in Thailand.
The origin of cacao is from South America. It was going around by South America and then it separated around by the growing of hill. In the past, they believed that cacao was given from God. It was a drink from God and it was a drink from worshiping. It was a medicine and it was the thing that God gave you, according to the Native American beliefs.
Chocolates came into Europe after Christopher Columbus arrived in America, and then Western people knew about chocolate after that. The important guy who has something involved with chocolate is Hernán Cortés, the one who conquered Mexico City. He got some money from the king. The king gave him something like jewels and gold, and one of those is cacao. So that was why he knew how valuable cacao was. It was really important for native people. And then Europeans brought cacao back to Europe, and they found a way to eat it. The best way they found was to eat it as a chocolate by adding some sugar. So that becomes chocolate nowadays that we are eating. People were making chocolate with a pot, with a fire underneath, and something to stir around. This one is called molinillo in Mexico. They are used for swirling and make chocolate taste better. This is a mano, which is hand-pieced, and metate, which is fat foam for grinding. The metate was used for grinding cacao beans, corn kernels, seeds, and even the bugs that are ground for the cochineal dye. The metate and mano have pre-Hispanic origins, and yet it is still found throughout Mesoamerica today.
According to the government, we start from AD 1952. At that time, we didn't have any industrialization plant. Cacao was grown by the noble people in Thailand for fun or some kind of collection. During AD 1972 to 1992, it was the time that our government tried to push cacao to become an industrial cup, but it doesn't work great. Until now, we still find a way to make cacao an industrial cup.
This is the process of how to make chocolate from the cacao pod. As you know, the cacao pod is grown from the cacao tree. The first step is harvesting. We harvest by cutting the top of the pod out. The part that we want to use to make chocolate is the seeds inside. In fact, what we eat from chocolate is the nut inside the cacao fruit. The next step is fermenting. We ferment by putting the cacao seeds into the fermentation box. The reason why we have to do fermenting is because if we don't ferment it, chocolate would have a very bitter taste and a green smell. But if you ask, is it possible to eat unfermented cacao? Yes, it is. We're gonna put the cacao seeds into the box and cover it for 6 to 7 days depending on your recipe.
After we are done with fermenting, we will go for drying. We will bring cacao to dry on a dry bed and use sunlight for drying it. Drying is important because it develops the taste of chocolate and its aroma also. Then we will go for roasting. Everyone knows that roasting is important. It is the way to make chocolate more caramelized, more aroma and more taste. We roast chocolate to make it have better taste, including the taste of caramel, sugar and chocolate.
After the chocolate is roasted, cracking and winnowing is the next step. In today's chocolate production, there are cocoa beans removed for making this step. Most of the people thought that the cocoa beans doesn't have any shell, but surprisingly, it has a shell. And we can use our hands to rip it out. It is really important to bring the shell out, otherwise the taste is going to be bad. But it also depends on your recipe too. So winnowing is a way to crack the cacao shell out of the bean. And then after that, we get the cacao nibs. Nibs are made up of cocoa solids and cocoa butter.
It tastes like bitter and sour.
It tastes like me with chocolate flavor.
Then we'll put the cacao nibs into the refiner. The refiner will transform the cacao nibs into a chocolate. The refiner will grind the cacao nibs until it's very, very small. It's lower than 30 microns. Below 30 microns, the tongue cannot sense any more solidness, but it can only sense the liquidness in it. In fact, the mixture is actually liquid mixed with solid. If you take a look at the molecules, it will be fatty things covered with solid. This kind of molecule makes the chocolate really smooth. Mostly in Thailand, we use a stone refiner, which is called melange grinder, because it is the cheapest way and way more affordable than the other stone refiner. So basically, this machine has two spinning stone labs that grind the nibs. The nibs first turn into a thick paste, also known as cocoa paste or cocoa liquor. As the grinder continues to break down the nibs, the cocoa butter within the nibs begins to melt. The longer the chocolate is ground, the smoother the liquid becomes. And crunching describes the final stage of bulk chocolate production. While there are different design crunching machines, the purpose is to add the final touch to the texture and flavor to the chocolate.
After that, we will go for molding. We are looking for the mold that we want the shape of the chocolate to look like. But before the chocolate is turned into chocolate bars, it must first be temperated. Tempering chocolate is a process of rising and lowering the temperature of the chocolate. Untemperated chocolate is dull and crumpy. Temperated chocolate is shiny, firm, and has a recognizable snap and higher melting point. Tempering is traditionally made by hand, but most chocolate makers are using tempering machine. After chocolate is put in a mold, we will wait until it's set.
Most people think that chocolate loves to be set in -degrees Celsius, like a regular temperature. But actually, 18 to 22 degrees is the temperature that chocolate loves to be set, and this is how chocolate is made.